Hello X Factory friends and family, this is Paul Sinclair with another voiceover video. I am proud to comment today on the Bmain run from this 2014 CRCRC Mid-Winter Championships. The top two cars from this race, the top two buggies, we're going to bump into the Amain. And I was qualified 12th out of about 120 entries at the race. And I believed I had a good shot to take one of those two bump positions. My car was feeling really good, I was driving well. And I knew that in the back of my head, I knew that I had set the fast laps in the B qualifier in Saturday's round 3 and round 4. And it was my own mistakes that were keeping me back from A-main runs in qualification. And so I just cleared my head and started the race. As I said, I'm qualified 12th. BQ ahead of me is an associated driver, Greg Nicholas, from the Cincinnati area. He and I have raced quite a while and discussed before the race we'd be happy to just freight train around and take it wire to wire. So it's important, I think, when you're running a bump-up race to keep in mind that you know, especially if there's multiple bump spots, it's all about the position and not necessarily how fast you are or being really aggressive. And so I was content in these opening laps to just stay in second place behind Greg, let everyone kind of sort themselves out behind us, see if there are going to be any challengers, and go from there. So first lap run really clean, and then, Greg stuffs it there over that kind of tabletop single. It's an interesting feature of the track, and hands me the lead. Right behind me is Jason Jakubczyk, a Kyosho driver from Western Michigan. Another driver I've driven with quite a while. I knew he was going to be a good competitor, and again, I just focused on running my own laps. This is about the best start for a race you could imagine from the 2 spot. You know, I felt bad for Greg. He's a good friend to drop back like that, but you take advantage. You don't think about that during the race. You just take advantage and keep running hard. Like I said, I believe that my car was really good, and it's always comfortable when you're leading a race, and within 2 or 3 laps, you can see yourself putting, you know, a significant gap between you and the rest of the field. As Chaz is filming here, you can see that Jason is dropping back quite a little bit. And I don't feel like I'm pushing that hard. I remember from the race, and I remember, you know, watching my car now. I'm really just kind of driving it around out there. My cube was just on point this race Sunday. I couldn't be happier with it. I did want to tell you guys one change that I made from qualifying to this B-main run. There's a really subtle thing, but it helped me in this B-main. So I'm running J-Concepts barcode tires, V1s in the rear and barcode fronts, gold compound. And if you're familiar with the barcode front tire, it has that kind of standard, what we're used to, bar treaded pattern, you know, across the tire, and then 2 ribs, one on the inside, one on the outside, kind of dust rings, I've heard them called. And for this B-main run, I had trimmed off the outer dust ring on my barcode front tires. And what that's going to do, it's something I've done at other races. What that does is it makes the tire less aggressive and less twitchy. And for qualifying, I'd wanted the fastest car I could, and I felt that dust ring was helping the car turn in and give me a few extra tenths maybe. But for this B-main, again, I just wanted an easy-to-drive car. I just wanted a car that was going to be smooth. And so I trimmed that dust ring off. And as you can see now, we're really, well, I just wrecked here, but we're really stretching out a really solid lead on the rest of the pack. My car was just super consistent, easy to drive, nice and predictable. I felt like I could hit my lines without pressing it, and the lap times were good. Interesting point here for the people who have been following my voiceover series since the very first one. In the very first voiceover video I did was a Region 5 race, I think 2 or 3 years ago. And if you remember from that video, someone I was racing with at the time was Dustin Richards. And I remarked that he and I have raced, he's from the Columbus area, and he and I have raced together for probably 10 years. And not just like seeing each other at the tracks race together, but it seems like on the track we're always next to each other. And so here we are again at the biggest race in the Midwest for 2014, and you'll note that I'm leading the B-main and he's in second place, hoping to bump up behind me. And that just made me laugh. We were joking about it all race weekend. We'd qualified, I think, 2 or 3 spots apart, and but both ended up bumping out of the B-main. And then actually in the A-main, the AAA mains, we were able to run, and we started 11th and 12th, and we finished 9th and 10th. So even in the A-mains, we raced together and pulled each other forward. it's really fun when you have someone, you know, that you travel around with and you're just that close to all the time. Makes racing a lot of fun. Anyway, I was super pumped to win this Bmain. Had a lot of X-Factory guys and a lot of other people cheering me on. I posted this to Facebook, but this is the first time at the CRCRC Mid-Winter, which is kind of my home big race. It's the first time I've ever made a two-wheel mod Amain. I've made the four-wheel main. I've finished, I think, 5th in four-wheel one here. I've made the short course main, you know, but that classic, the two-wheel drive mod trophy, had never been mine. And so winning this Bmain here to bump into the A and finally, finally get to run in that two-wheel mod Amain. I mean, the CRCRC Midwinter is the race that I started racing. You know, it was the first big race I ever ran. It was the first Amains I watched. And I kind of made it a life goal back when I was, you know, little like 14-year-old Paul, to make this Amain. And so it was incredibly satisfying and fulfilling to get a chance to run in that race. And I'm glad you guys can watch it with me. Thanks for listening.